American great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, March 27, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox Local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, we say hello to you. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Braylon Edwards in the Old English D, 24 hours away from opening day in Major League Baseball. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy, man?
Baby.
I'm always excited to wear this jacket. I got it about 4 years ago. I love this time of years when you get back to, hey, it's time to play some baseball down at Comerica
That is
Park.
a classic jacket.
This is 40 years, man. This is 40 years since the Detroit Tigers won the World Series. So I'm going to rock this jacket as much as I can. And with it being about 35 degrees outside, it's perfect time.
No doubt about it. Tom Mazaway, always feeling cold. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, guys. August 31st, by the way, they celebrate the 84 team. Again, the 40th anniversary at Comerica. So August 31st, Tigers home game. Looking forward to Chicago tomorrow. Johnny Kane was there today. Had a little video of the stadium.
Kane.
Had the video of the stadium. Of course, it looks just like ours out here, nice and dark and cold. Just what you want to play baseball. Open it up in the Midwest and the East, right? Why not do it in Florida, California, and under the dome?
Mm-hmm.
That a job there, MLB. You really got it, man.
It's so funny you wear the New York Mets jacket because I remember that year. It was the Mets versus the Cardinals, and I was begging for the Cardinals. I did not want to play the Mets.
Oh.
Johan Santana was the best pitcher in baseball around that year. Didn't want to see the Mets. Maybe we did want to see the Mets.
You know, when
did.
They celebrate all of these championships, like you mentioned, 40 years since 84 Tigers, and they'll celebrate them at the end of August.
20 years.
You know, we just had the 20-year anniversary of the Going to Work Pistons, the 2004 championship.
D-Mac yesterday.
I haven't seen many Red Wings championship celebrations.
Not really.
Do you recall?
No, not really.
I mean, they used to do the bad boy ones, 10, 15, 20, 25. I haven't seen a bad boy one in a minute.
I mean, what would the bad boys be at this point? Would it be the 35th anniversary?
35 years.
35 and 34?
35 for 89.
Oh, and 36
you know what I mean?
88.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
88 they didn't win it. But
88 they lost. You're absolutely correct. But it goes back to who's at the top.
Right.
And Tom Gores has no identity with the Bad Boys Pistons. He has nothing to do with before the team that he bought. He barely wanted to do the Going to Work Pistons. So those Pistons from there, they can forget about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's funny though, like you think about all these Tigers reunions, Pistons reunions. I just don't ever recall a Red Wings reunion for a championship. I mean, maybe there has been.
They win 01, 02.
Well, 97, 98.
Obviously.
02. 08.
Oh, they lost in. Yeah, they lost
in 09.
Lost in 09. They lost in 09.
Lost in 95.
95. They got swept.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they're looking forward to their next one.
That's
Maybe
right.
they're closer than the other teams that are celebrating. Obviously closer than the Pistons.
Also, too, though, Ryan, here's a question for that. When you won as much as they did, that's a lot of reunions. Yeah. That's a lot of anniversaries. You're like, all right, maybe they're just waiting for one and lump them together because that's 4 separate anniversaries, and then you always can celebrate what that team was.
That's right. Hey, guys, we'll get going today. Big Lions news today, and that is that Josh Reynolds will not be back with the team. Josh Reynolds signs a 2-year deal with the Denver Broncos. Worth about $14 million total, so about $7 million a year. That money just too rich for the Detroit Lions. This feels like a significant signing from a guy that you no longer have. And I know the drops in the NFC Championship game probably cost them a Super Bowl appearance, and heaven forbid a Super Bowl championship, because I do believe if they were to play in the Super Bowl, they would have beaten Kansas City. But nonetheless, he had a tremendous year, a little bit of an unsung hero for this team this year. That's a void they'll have to fill. Can Jameson Williams do that? Absolutely. Can Donovan Peoples-Jones do it? Absolutely. But until they get into these situations and until they make these plays, it'll always be a question, because Josh Reynolds for the last 3 years was as significant a player to this team as anybody. And I stand by that because of how big he's come up in so many situations, even in year one when this team was terrible and they had Brashad Perriman and Mike Williams as their free agent signees that were busts. Jared Goff finally gets a trade here of Josh Reynolds to Detroit from L.A., had an instant connection with him. And, he's been a really good player here, Bray, but this feels big.
Look, at the end of the day, and it's going to sound critical coming from me, I'm a wide receiver, but at the end of the day, I understand what they did. Look, he's been here 3 years, and what have they done in 3 years? Yeah, they got to the NFC Championship, but what happened when they finally got there? He dropped 2 passes. I'm not about to pay a wide receiver $7 million. You mentioned how good he was and how elite he was for the Lions last year. He was. Every catch was a first down. And if it wasn't a first down, it was a touchdown. But guess who else was elite last year? Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We saw what Jamison Williams can do at the end of the year. I'm not wasting $7 million, and I think it's a waste because I think you could do more with that money. Not a waste on a player like him. I'm not knocking his skill. Waste in terms of what you could do with that money. I'm not wasting $7 million a year on a guy. Not once, but twice cost me situations that could have had me in the Super Bowl. And we know for a fact one of those would for sure got them to the Super Bowl.
I would prefer him being here, but $7 million, maybe they're going to spend it elsewhere. If they go spend it elsewhere, maybe I don't know what they're going to do with it. But it's money in the coffers. And we'll see what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell devise, because Brad Holmes came out and said, cornerback, we don't need any cornerbacks. Did you hear that today? So I don't know where he's going to spend the money. So I guess we'll just hold on and see what's up. He seems to be happy with the free agent class that he brought in.
Yeah, he is happy. In fact, he thinks it's the best free agent class they've ever signed. He talked earlier yesterday.
I just feel really good. And, our number one choices, that's our number one choices. There's 31 other teams, it's 31 other boards. Our number one choices are probably not those number one choices, but just like I said, it's for our palate, and those were our number one choices. And look, I have a lot of faith and conviction and confidence in our process because we go through every single scenario.
Brad Holmes, Lions general manager, talking with Dan Miller of Fox 2. And yeah, this does feel like a really good free agent class. And Braylon, this is the one player that I think they would have liked to have had back, just not at this price. You're right about that. I mean, are you going to pay $7 million for Josh Reynolds? Probably not. Now, I like the player. I don't like that contract. Good for him, though, that he's able to go to Denver because they are really shy on weapons. So he'll be pretty good there as well. But this has been a really, really positive offseason for the Detroit Lions. They say they got every number one target that they wanted. Yeah. And maybe Josh Reynolds was not a number one target. Maybe they felt their number one target at the wide receiver position was Donovan Peoples-Jones. That could have been the case as well, because you talk about player, ability, and contract. All of that gets rolled into one sort of want, I would think.
At the end of the day, when are we going to stop questioning Brad Holmes? Like, that's what it seems like we're continuously doing. I myself am guilty of it as well. Look, they've been telling us from the start, the guys they wanted to draft, the guys they wanted to pick up, the free agency guys they had last year, Ryan, is exactly who they want to have. They wanted C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They wanted Emmanuel Mosley. They wanted Cam Sutton. They wanted those guys. They picked those guys. They plucked those guys. And then fast forward to that draft. They went on and got the players that they wanted. And everybody came down on Brad Holmes. I don't know about this move. And you went and got a running back, and you moved back to do this, and you bring Jack Campbell, et cetera, et cetera. It worked for him. Did you see how good those rookies played last year? So when he's telling me that, hey, like, he tells us what he wants to do. He tells us what he's going to do all the time. So I think we need to start listening. And when they say this was our top priority, we got all the ones we wanted, as opposed to think he's trying to trick the game and, trying to sell us something and hope that it works out. Maybe we need to start saying those are the guys they really wanted. Those were the guys that they went after. Like you said, the 31 other teams, they can do things their way. We do it the Lions way.
So just a little behind the scenes, based on where we are in the studio, I'll give you a little inside baseball here. Where we are in the studio, I normally will look at Maz if he wants to weigh in on something, and it's just a little bit of a cadence or a little bit of a feel I think the three of us have with when to jump in on any particular topic or when not to. And I misread that situation. I thought he was going to want to jump in after Braylon spoke, and I looked at him.
My head buried down was misread.
Well, I mean, I don't know when you're going to look. I don't know what you're doing over there. I mean, we're all multitasking over here, right?
Yeah, we are.
How many times is Braylon talking to me, but I'm kind of looking something up or something like that? So he's basically talking to a deadpan me with my, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
He knows
but I know
what I'm trying to do. So Maz looks at me, doesn't even look at me. There's a pause. He goes,
I gave you the wave.
He gave me the wave.
Sorry, man.
it's all good.
He shook the pitch off.
No,
Won't happen again.
It's fine.
Not that pitch. Not that pitch.
That's
You know what
it
pitch
is.
I want.
It's fantastic.
I was reading about Evil Maz in the chat.
Oh, man, you love the chat.
I didn't know what Evil Maz was, but Pete has tipped me off to, I guess, when I dyed my hair one time, which I'll never do again, by the way. I looked like Evil Maz or something. So BDE brought it up, and they nicknamed me Evil Maz. So there you go.
Like, man,
I will never do what I always hated what guys did, dye their hair. So I dyed my hair, and I'm like, never, ever
the
again.
complete funny thing about
I
that.
became one of those guys.
The funniest thing about it, Ryan, tell me if I'm wrong. He makes so much fun of Ryan Day. He calls him Blackbeard all the time.
Right.
Ryan Beard dyes his beard. And Matt calls him all the time. But you know what, Matt? You must have saw Ryan one time and said, it might be okay. It might not be bad.
It's all right. The only reason I did it is because my wife and kids were like, Dad, you're looking old, man.
Oh, my gosh.
You're looking old, but I am what I am, man.
Whatever color Steven Seagal's goatee is, that was the same color you had.
I'd say you look seasoned, Tom.
I'm
You
seasoned.
look seasoned.
Well, there you go. I'm
right.
fat, bald, and gray. There you go.
That's good.
I got the trifecta.
We'll get back on track here. Just talking about Brad Holmes and free agency and getting his number one targets. One guy that's been pretty vocal lately, too, is Amik Robertson. This is a player that the Lions signed from the Las Vegas Raiders at a position of need for this football team. Posted yesterday. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm trolling, but I think about Detroit every day. Can't wait. This really God's plan. We're going to do something special. And I think one of the things that Brad Holmes has done in acquiring players, and Calvin Johnson alluded to this yesterday as well when we were speaking about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Great interview, by the way.
It was a great interview.
by the way. Check it out.
When we were speaking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the first thing that came to mind for Calvin Johnson, when it's like, how does this player who's passed over, over 120 times, over 100 times by NFL teams, this little undersized wide receiver from USC who fell to the fourth round, who comes to this Detroit Lions team when it's a terrible situation and turn himself into one of the league's top wide receivers. How does that happen? And he said, got a chip on his shoulder. And I think one of the major themes that Brad Holmes has, almost sought out when it comes to acquiring players is that chip on the shoulder. And, whether it's a guy like Brian Branch, who was looked over in the first round of the draft last year, to an Amon-Ra St. Brown, to an Amik Robertson, who is an undersized cornerback, you would say, but they say plays like just a pit bull out there. It's just, that's the way they have built this team, and it has been successful.
Whoa. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is actually it. We're sitting here finding out how in which they go about getting their guys. And we talk about, they make sure the guys fit the Lions program. They make sure the guys fit how Dan Campbell coaches. They make sure the Lions fit grit and villain. Right, that's exactly it. You start naming the players that dropped around, whether it was Amon-Ra St. Brown, he dropped, whether they told Jack Campbell he was too slow laterally, whether Jahmyr Gibbs, who started at Georgia Tech and then gets to Alabama, told he was too small and then has success. Jamison Williams started at Ohio State. Had to leave because he couldn't make the field. All these players have a chip on their shoulder. All these players are buying in too. Let's not mistake that for a minute. They're watching what Dan Campbell has built. Now, we don't even have to go back to the first year.
Look at the free agents. Just look at Donovan Peoples-Jones. You don't think he's got a chip on his shoulder right now?
He's a 4th-round draft pick. He goes to Cleveland. It doesn't work out in Cleveland, although he had some really good years. 100% that is the guys they get and they stick. You mentioned Brian Branch last year. Like, that's how they fit their team. That's how they fit these guys. But you know what happens in that? These guys know their role, which is something that it's hard sometimes to get an all-star cast or all-star rosters. You're trying to get everybody to know their role. Everybody wants to be the star. Everybody knows their role here. Everybody plays their role, whether it's Khalif Raymond, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. David Montgomery is a starter. Now Jahmyr Gibbs is a starter.
David Montgomery's another one. You don't
when
think
he came here last year.
Came here last year with a chip on his shoulder from Chicago?
Wanted to do better, showed him he was better than that. Also, what did he say? He said, I don't care if I'm passing out water in Detroit. I just can't wait to get to that team. I think that's what you're seeing with Amik Roberts this year. It's a treat to come to Detroit Lions now. 12-5, they won the North. They were in the NFC Championship. It's a real treat to come to this team. So you better be willing to play your role, and you better be willing to play it to the best of your ability.
I said it, man.
Yeah, that's
Day 2
good
of the
stuff,
draft
Ryan.
last year. Brian Branch waiting there. Got out of his suit, put on some
Jeans.
sports clothes. He looked great. And he waited to hear his name called. And he celebrated on the stage with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, and then with the Lion fans, all the pictures he's taken. You knew he was coming here to play ball and to take names. Look back, see who hit me. I'll get you later. And that's exactly what he did. And he had a phenomenal rookie year with injuries on top of it all. And it started with game 1 when he takes a pick 6 back against Patrick Mahomes.
You can't dream up a better rookie start scenario for Brian Branch. Gets passed over in the first round, gets drafted in the second round. Like you said, Mass, he stays. He still goes on stage, plays against Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback maybe ever when it's all said and done. Well, when it all said and done, he will be. Pick 6, first game. That's how you start. Like, that's a dream career start.
I want to go back to something you said earlier, just a moment ago, Braylon, about guys like David Montgomery saying they don't care what their role is, they don't care if they got to pass out water, and that is obviously because of the culture created in the building in Allen Park, but 2, because the goal is now that this organization, this football team, these players, these coaches believe they can actually win the Super Bowl, not just get to the playoffs, not win a playoff game, not host a playoff game, but win a Super Bowl. And that is the goal for this franchise. Dan Campbell talked about that at the NFL meetings in Orlando.
And I tell you what you realize when you really watch it and you just give us general thoughts is, man, those San Francisco willed that to happen. They had players that, man, they in critical moments, that quarterback made big plays. McCaffrey made big plays, made a big catch. Ayuk made a big catch, 15 over the middle for a first down. And they willed those things to happen. And that's the next step for us. And so I think we've got to put a tremendous amount of stress on our players before the season gets here, starting in OTAs, but then certainly in training camp, a lot more than we have. And just mold them and shape them and get them there. But that experience that'll play well to us. Because look, you're either going to get better from it or you'll just get worse because you're broken. And we're not going to break. We're just not. So we got 2 good guys, and so it's exciting.
That is as solid as it gets.
I love that.
That is you either, no matter where you are in life, you either get better or you get worse.
Because staying the same is getting worse.
And that's just it.
Yeah.
Because people will always continue to pass you by. Yeah. So being stagnant, being stale, not getting better, it's another way to get worse, I believe. Yeah. And this football team will not break, as Dan Campbell pointed out just there.
I don't believe they'll break it all. Like, I think they will get better. I think they've made their team better in the offseason thus far with the free agent moves that they've done. And also, too, look, man, they got there. They got that close. They didn't play the blame game. That's a lot. That's one thing you see new teams that get to that space, or even old teams sometimes. You get the pointing the finger, and it's this guy, or maybe it's that guy, or, if we would have done this or we wouldn't have done that. They never said that. They never went down there. In fact, Dan Campbell doubled down on the things he did. Nobody pointed the finger at Josh Reynolds or Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, nobody pointed the finger. So they stayed together. When you stay together like that, Mass, through a situation like that, now you guys are building together. Now you don't think that team is already here, getting ready for the season? You don't think they started running together, working out together, watching film on last season, how we can get just a little bit faster in our routes, how we can time up the passes a little bit better? Jared, the offensive line, these guys are here. They're ready to rock and roll. It happened to me, man. 2009. I tell a story all the time because it's relevant. 2009, we get to the AFC Championship. We get there. We're winning at halftime. We lose to the Colts. Got better in the offseason. We bring in LaDainian Tomlinson, who still got 1,000 yards that year. We bring in Jason Taylor. We brought in Brodney Poole. We brought in some guys. So now we believe we're better than we were the year before, and we were. We kept going and going and going and going, and all we could think about is we were better than them. That's what the Lions are now thinking. They were better than the 49ers. Yeah, these plays happen. The Lions were better than them that day until they weren't. And so that's how we felt. We felt like we were the better team. We felt like we can get back, and we got back. We lost again, but we got all the way back because we knew we were a better team than who the hell are the Colts?
Colts, Steelers, right?
Yep.
Steelers, Colts, Steelers.
Colts, Steelers.
And you guys played for a guy you loved in Rex Ryan. These guys are playing for a guy they love in Dan Campbell. I kind of look at the same guy, if you ask me. Dan Campbell and Rex Ryan remind me of each other. They're a guy that I'd like to hang with. They're guys I want to be with. They're my guys.
Yeah. Rex grew up in football. He may not have played in the NFL like Dan Campbell did, but Rex's father, Buddy Ryan, coached for the 85 Bears, coached for the Oilers, another team.
Coached for the 69 Jets.
100%. And then their sons, Rob and Ryan, twins, they were raised in that. So they know the locker room. They know how players are. They know what it's about and what it takes.
Hey, I wanted to play this for you as well. So Dan Campbell obviously was asked about Cam Newton personally.
Cam Sutton.
I keep saying Cam Newton, sorry. Cam Sutton personally, and he did not want to comment on the personal matter, so he did not. But he was asked if Cam Sutton's departure from this football team changed and made the Lions kind of change the way they approach, adding another defensive back. Do they have to add another defensive back? Here's Dan Campbell's take on what the Lions need to do to fill that void left by Cam Sutton's departure.
Some guys we're looking at in free agency that can bring in some competition. And then, and that may or may not be done before the draft, I mean, I know that it brings up a little more urgency for another player, for sure, that can compete. But then as far as everything else goes, we're ready to go into the draft, and see if we come away with something in there.
So yes, obviously an urgency to add another defensive back, but will it be in free agency over the next month? Will it be in the draft? Will it be at cut down time in training camp? They will add somebody. They just don't know who and how
yet.
They
might bring back Kendall Vildor.
Yeah.
The guy that played decent down the stretch, considering he was a practice squad player, and he would have been with the Titans had not the Lions said, no, we'll bring him up and put him on it. He made a good play, for crying out loud, against the Niners.
Ball dunked off his helmet.
It hit what bad luck. He had him covered like a blanket.
Well, we don't need that bad luck over here.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, but just to think about what he's saying.
That's who I predict they bring in.
Okay, I hope not.
Their own guy.
This is the one thing I do like, though, and we just talked about it with Brad Holmes. They're honest. They don't BS you. He's not BSing you around, Ryan. He's like, well, we don't know, and we got to vet the process, and we need to take a look and see what we have versus what. No, we need to address the issue. He's basically letting you know, even with Cam Sutton, still could have necessarily been an issue, but now without a Cam Sutton, you have Meek Roberts, you have Carlton Davis III. Yes, we need to address the DB spot. Now, we may do it before, or we may do it during the draft, but we're going to address the DB spot. He's honest.
Right.
I can't wait for the situation when he's not honest, because it ain't happening. Because it ain't happening.
I'm having a brain fart right now. Excuse me. The safety from Seattle.
Oh, Jamal Adams.
No, from Detroit. That was just released. Quandre Diggs. They did say they were going to add another safety. I don't want to say be like that guy. Oh, you got to go back to the well with this guy. But he does look like he could play. If you are going to,
he's a Pro Bowler last year.
I mean, this is this is a player you could probably get for relatively a cheap price. He's familiar with the organization. He loves the Lions organization in the city. It feels like a natural fit to get some veteran help back there. You know, Tracy Walker, CJ Gardner-Johnson. You really don't have that veteran anymore that is on the back end. It just feels like a perfect solution.
Yeah, I know people hate when we always agree, but I tend to 100% agree with this. You're talking about a guy that was a Pro Bowler last year. Quandre Diggs isn't somebody that's coming off some year. He was a Pro Bowler last season, or the season before, excuse me. And then also, you hit the nail on the head, too. He's familiar with the city, but loves the city and loves this regime. Remember after they played the Lions, Penei Sewell's rookie year? Remember him talking to Penei Sewell? And what did he say?
We almost thought he was coming back then.
100% we did. Because
he's always tweeting about the Lions and stuff like that.
It could be something there. And also, too, he's smart. Like, he's selling himself. He's been selling himself for a minute because he wants to come back to Detroit. He wants to be on this team. So, maybe there is something there. And like you said, veteran leadership is something they don't have. They got a lot of young, talented guys, but you maybe need a veteran safety to go along with Carlton Davis III as a veteran cornerback. But you get some of that veteran, that leadership in there, it does wonders.
Yeah, who is the vocal leader
Brian Branch.
Of that defense? You believe
Brian Branch.
Can it be a young player like that?
Brian Branch. Because I've seen it firsthand. I remember when I was in Seattle, like Earl Thomas, all 5'7" of him, torpedo. He was the leader day one. You just have guys like that just come in and they have a mouth, but they also back it up, pause, and you have to go with those guys. You got to follow those guys because they're not just talking it; they're out there walking it. So if he's doing anything like he did last year in these training camps, and he's still voting, he's also from Alabama.
Yeah,
like certain schools, players are just cut different. You walk with a different swag. You move to a different beat, and people tend to follow you. That Alabama. Ohio State, as much as I hate to say it, Michigan, at LSU, you tend to follow the beat of those drums, or Oklahoma back in the day.
I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, mock draft season. There's a couple of interesting people that have put mocks out there, including Mike Tannenbaum, your former general manager. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from us here at Wake Up Woodward.
Wake up, Woodward! That is the new morning show right here on Woodward Sports Network. You can visit with Broder, JB, KG, Flannel Sam, and of course the great Kool-Aid every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports talk, banner, and live fan interaction. And that is all right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit. Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party, it's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
What's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Back in Woodward Sports, want me to remind you, it is always football season. How would you, talking about you guys out there, how would you like to win 2 tickets to the home opener? That's right, the Detroit Lions, the king of the North, currently. 2 tickets to that home game downtown. It's going to be fire. September is going to be electric. You have the chance to be in the building. All you got to do, scan the QR code right there on the screen. It takes 2 seconds. You scan the QR code on the screen. Register today for your chance to win. Or you can go to any Shake Shack if you can't scan the QR code if you're listening, or woodwardsports.com. That's 2 tickets to the home opener. You might want to give yourself a chance. And also, $10 a month, Brian Ermanni.
$10?
That's all it takes to work out a Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. $10 a month, and it's home of the judgment-free zone, which means you get the chance to work out judgment-free at your own pace. Do it the way you want to do it only. And they have the 30-minute total body workout. Ryan, you've done that a time or two.
Oh, yeah. I love the 30-minute workout.
Look, man, do yourself a favor. Come on down to Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
It is mock draft season, guys. And, of course, take it with a grain of salt. It's about more entertainment than I think anything else. And people take their information and do the best they can to, I don't know, give us something to talk about. I thought Mike Tannenbaum's mock draft was the most interesting. And Mike Tannenbaum suggests that the Arizona Cardinals should trade out of that pick. Or excuse me, should trade their quarterback, Kyler Murray. I don't know what mock draft this is. This is completely meaningless to what I'm talking about.
There's a Tannenbaum tweet.
Mike Tannenbaum, he has the Arizona Cardinals trading Kyler Murray to the Minnesota Vikings, and Arizona taking J.J. McCarthy with the 4th overall pick, starting that quarterback clock early. Kyler Murray has not played a full season since 2020. So that's 3 full years of not playing a full season.
Yeah.
He's got that big contract, and he believes that J.J. McCarthy should go to the Arizona Cardinals at 4. If there's one thing that is certain, and I saw there's an NFL,
I hope you're saying this is crazy.
Well, sure, maybe Arizona crazy, but one thing is absolutely certain. J.J. McCarthy is not getting out of the top 4, and there will be 4 quarterbacks taken, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is a 100% certainty, not a 99% certainty, not a 98% certainty, not 99.9% certainty. It is a 100% certainty with absolute confidence.
Hold your horses.
That I can tell you that quarterbacks will be taken 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Number 4 is Arizona. If they don't make that trade that you're saying that Mike Tannenbaum said, they're taking a wide receiver. So at 5, that's where it starts. That's when the next quarterback goes. And that's where Minnesota and the Giants want to trade up to. I don't believe Arizona's in this, but maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they only have to move down 1 or 2 spots to get Marvin Harrison or Neighbors, the wide receiver from LSU. I believe Arizona is the wild card there at number 4. I don't think they're going to trade. Man, that would be something. If I was them, I would do it. I would get far away from their quarterback right now and draft a new guy. But who's going to take him and pay that salary?
If I may, just quickly, Braylon, let's just say Marvin Harrison is a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there. Hall of Fame receiver. But you have an opportunity to get 3 Pro Bowlers for that 4th pick, just based on trade value that you will get. I would contend to you that the Lions had a Hall of Fame wide receiver as well, and they didn't do squat with him.
Correct. Almost,
but not really. Almost this ain't horseshoes.
I know. 2014 was stolen
again. So Braylon, that number 4 spot is so valuable because if you believe there are 4 legitimate quarterbacks at the top of the draft and the first 3 are taken, you've got Denver, you've got Minnesota. Hell, you might have the Giants. You might have the Raiders.
You know who sits at 5, right? Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh sits at 5.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to take an offensive lineman, Joe Alt.
Or trade down.
But he only gets to trade if
somebody wants to trade.
Somebody has if that 4th quarterback is available in that spot.
Correct.
That's the only part about the Chargers' value is if there's a quarterback left on that board. If there's no quarterback left on that board, I mean one of the 4 we talk about, San Diego's picking there.
How funny would it be that if the Giants trade up with the Chargers finally, the Giants get a quarterback like they did back in the day when they got Eli Manning away from San Diego back then, and then the Chargers still get their guy with the next pick? Or does Minnesota hoodwink them all and call Arizona and say, I can't let the Giants get that guy. I got to get my guy. I got to get JJ. I got to get him. And they give the house to Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting take. Yeah, I'm going back to it. I didn't get a chance to comment on the Mike Tannenbaum. I know it wasn't about him, but that would be foolish in terms of getting
Kyler Murray, shipping him out.
Kyler Murray, yeah. But who's doing that?
Why, you want him?
No, I'm just saying, Kyler Murray.
So foolish for the Minnesota Vikings.
100%
to make that move.
Yeah,
100%. Nobody's taking that. But to your point, you have to have a quarterback to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every year we get down to this. Every year we start talking about the draft, and people are desperate for quarterbacks. People are desperate trying to find a quarterback that can get them to the NFC Championship, that can get them to the AFC Championship, that can get them some wins. And I think when you have these quarterback classes like this, it's 5 in this particular class, you figure 3 have to be good. And I think that's what these teams are doing. I think that's where they're getting to now. They're look, Jaden Daniels, JJ, and then Drake May, maybe 4 of these guys, they got to be good. But you put up that 2020 class, none of them were good. It's a crapshoot.
And none of them were good. And I saw somebody do something about this. I think it was ESPN. Maybe it was Matt Miller or somebody like that. Matt Miller put out a 7-round mock draft today. But he said that 2020 class was so unique because of COVID that there wasn't a lot of tape on these guys, recent tape. I mean, they some guys played, some guys didn't, some guys had half their team, some guys didn't have half the team, so it was a really unique year to evaluate. The actual evaluation part was so difficult.
It's like the NFL draft used to be back in the 70s.
That's when Bill Belichick's dog made the picks.
Yeah.
Remember that on TV?
Exactly. Sitting at his kitchen table.
That was classic.
Unbelievable.
And that was the Jordan Love deal.
Yeah.
That was the Aaron Rodgers said, who? Who are you taking?
Cliff Kingsbury. Remember his house that he rented?
Oh, what a house.
That house was fire. Somebody got in trouble doing that, too. Can't remember.
I lost the tweet, but it was an NFL Network. Oh, Daniel Jeremiah. That's who it was. Daniel Jeremiah was on the McAfee show today, and obviously there is no bigger enigma in this draft than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
You think he's an enigma? Or do you think he's a sure bet?
Well, I do. Right. What I'm saying is,
so if you do, for other people
do. The difference between the public and the NFL people, and I posted I put something in our chat yesterday. Yeah. It was a tweet from somebody that said, let me see if I could find it. Heaven forbid.
If you love JJ as much as you do, and other NFL guys know his story too, and especially they all talk to Jim Harbaugh.
But that's what
you heard what Harb said about him.
But that's what enigma means, though, man. It means that it's such a huge discrepancy between one side versus the other side.
It's because Michigan never unwrapped him.
So this is a great post. It's from Brian Drake at Drake Fantasy. People who love J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
NFL scouts, NFL coaches, and analysts who aren't looking for clicks. People who don't like J.J. McCarthy. Guy who is a tape expert after watching YouTube highlights. Dude with Ohio State alumni in bio and hot take artist. And I think many fans just don't know enough about him.
Send me that.
Because we are so it's
in our chat.
Yeah.
In our WhatsApp.
We are
I got you.
Let me do it during the break. We are so captivated and hang on to statistics and stats. That we can't see past that. Most of us are like, oh yeah, Caleb Williams got 55 touchdown passes. When you got the fastest man on the planet, and you can just throw either way. I don't want to, downplay Caleb to uplift JJ, but I'm just saying, like, JJ didn't have to do much in college. That doesn't diminish how great of a pro I think he'll be and why he's such a lightning rod. Daniel Jeremiah was saying today on the McAfee show, look, he's like, I talked to enough guys to know what's a smokescreen and what's real. And this JJ stuff is not smokescreen. This is all real. And it is a very high probability. And the odds, I also posted the odds of JJ McCarthy going at number 2. A couple of days ago, it was 250 to 1, plus 2,500 to go number 2 to Washington. Then it was 1,200, plus 100.
Plus 200.
Yeah, and now it's plus 350. The odds within 1 week went from plus 2,500 to plus 350 for JJ to go number 2.
What I was talking about a couple of days ago is in this era, in this time period, Maz, from combine's over, now you're doing interviews, now you're doing pro days, now you get to spend more time with these players. From this time to the draft, Ryan, this is when the coaches, this is when the managements, this is when they fall in love with players. This is when they pick their guys out. With the exception of Caleb Williams, who we know is going number 1 and he's gone, this is when you say, all right, I'm thinking this guy, and this guy. Now you got to go out there and win. Now you got to go out there and win pro day. Now you got to go out there and win the interviews. Now you got to go out there and win when you're putting the coverages on the board and showing how you're going to run this offense for the Washington Commanders or for the New England Patriots or insert team here. This is where JJ has got the one leg up. Once you start getting momentum, once one guy is talking about you, once you get one big name, now you get 2 big names. Now you got all the fans. Now you got everybody else. Now owners who don't necessarily know as much about it as the coaches or the GMs, now owners are like, yeah, we need this JJ kid. Because see, that's what happens, and that's how you sell yourself to move up from a tweener pick from second to first round to potentially going second overall. Because once the owners start reading this stuff, they start checking tweets, they're starting to watch ESPN, or they're watching Ermanni Networks with Mad, they're like, this, all I keep hearing about is J.J. McCarthy. So now they're calling their GMs. Is that who we're taking? We're taking JJ kid, right?
He's like a prize.
And now it gets to the point where the owners sometimes they have to put it on the table, if you know what I mean. This is my team. I'm the billionaire. I like this kid. You're drafting him. And now you get those situations.
Well, that's a bad organization then.
Well,
we that happens.
It does
Absolutely.
happen. True.
It happens all the time.
It happened to the Lions.
It's a bad organization.
Joey Harrington.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Millen wanted him. Mariucci's like, I don't want him. I do not want him.
Yeah.
And Matt Millen and Mr. Ford insisted that they take Joey Harrington.
And you know why they took Joey Harrington? You know why Mr. Ford, rest in peace? It's because of the billboard in Times Square. When they tried to put him up for the Heisman before the season even started, people fall in love with players. And I think right now, they're falling in love with a player that actually is the real good.
And you know, from a fan's perspective, I think we get in trouble with this a lot too. If player A looks like player B, we automatically think player A will turn into player B. I think Colin Cowherd did a little bit yesterday. He said that one of the takes he had was is JJ starting to have a Zach Wilson vibe to it?
Oh my God!
Here we go.
You know, because Zach Wilson did all the things. You get around Zach. You like Zach Wilson.
He didn't win a championship.
No, but he didn't. But he had great pro days and this, that, and the other thing, and great combine, and people fell. And JJ does resemble visually, by appearance,
Yeah, he does.
Zach Wilson a little bit.
No doubt.
You got the strong chin.
With the hair, with the chin, with everything like that. We do that with Drake May. Drake May
Patrick
looks
Mahomes.
like Mitchell Trubisky a little bit. So we think, most of us say, you know what?
Yeah.
Drake May equals Mitchell Trubisky. JJ McCarthy equals Zach Wilson, based on nothing other than physical appearance.
Yeah.
And I think we get in trouble with that too. Like, I automatically think I'll be just as guilty as anybody. I think because Drake May went to UNC and wore number 10, that he's automatically going to be Mitchell Trubisky in the NFL. I think Caleb Williams is going to be like Kyler Murray a little bit. Kyler Murray is a nice player.
Yeah.
You cannot win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. The Arizona Cardinals or nobody else with Kyler Murray as their quarterback will win a Super Bowl.
Well, Kyler Murray's Bryce Young.
And Bryce Young is, you know what I mean? Like all these little guys.
they're the same size.
Did you hear about Caleb Williams after his pro day? Like what all the insiders are now saying about him? Say he's legit. They said like they're legit going to challenge the North this year with him, and also said he's 6'1", so he's not a tall guy, but he's a thicker player. They said like it's going to be some problems. People trying to tackle him. What you saw in the Pac-12, they're not big tacklers out there anyway, but they say it's going to be some problems after this pro day, which just like JJ, it's like a pro day. We got to see it.
He's talented, man. He's talented. Let's see if he's got his head on right.
This is true, which goes back to what we were talking about. It's the field versus off the field stuff with him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I do think, you know, whether you and again, I'll say this a million more times leading up to April 25th and even beyond. You know, one of the things that attracts me to JJ is his ability to lead. Like you automatically know he is going to have a command of the team and the huddle the minute he steps foot onto the field, because he's a team guy. He's not a look at me kind of guy. He doesn't want all the praise. He doesn't need all the praise. He includes everybody. He's all about the team. That will attract you to your offensive linemen. That will attract you to your running backs. That's going to get you in good with the wide receivers.
Also, too, there's the level of being on the football field, worrying about the football. There's some guys that they come in the league. They do the commercials. They're always, remember Baker Mayfield when he first came in? How many progressive commercials did he have? He had more progressive.
Great.
It was great, but you got the guys that do the commercials, the guys that go to New York, guys that go to LA, the guys that are focused on their brand, focused on all these other things. And they forget to focus on football, which is the most important.
Well, Mahomes isn't.
Well, Mahomes took a second to get there. Like, remember, his first year, he threw for 5,000 yards. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. But I think JJ is one of those kids you saw in Ann Arbor. JJ's in the lab. Like, JJ will get married.
He's a football player.
He's going to get married within the next year or two. He'll be married. All he's going to do is watch film. All he's going to do is off-season things. All he's going to do is be around his teammates. Some guys get it, some guys don't. Look at Kirk Cousins.
He's got a little bit of a Kirk Cousins vibe to him.
100%. Yeah. That's why.
It's a good call.
You know?
It is. Like Kirk Cousins, like you see him during the season, during the offseason, spend time with family. He spends time with football. He's a football player. Matt Ryan. And the list goes on. Guys that care about football. And Lamar Jackson. Like you say what you want to about, you see him nowhere during the offseason except for in California with his coach. And he goes back to Baltimore for his team. Like those guys win. Those guys get it.
Yeah, and, you know, it's possible, too, that, you know, all four of these guys really turn out to be tremendous. It is possible. And then everybody wins. You know, the teams that pick them win. The league wins. I think, you know, the stronger the quarterbacks, the better the game is. And that is why there is just so much focus on that position specifically. And that's why teams never quit trying to get that quarterback. You know, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at Mike Tomlin. Do you think they know how important the quarterback position is? They just took a quarterback in the first round 2 years ago. They now have traded that quarterback away, acquired a Hall of Famer, and signed another guy who is what many people believe is a franchise quarterback as well in his own right to be his backup. That's how important the quarterback position is. That's why there's an obsession over getting it right, picking this position apart specifically. And yes, I think when it comes down to, everything about you, it matters when picking that position for an NFL team.
Oh, yeah, my apologies. Yeah.
No, all right. Well,
I could pick up from there and just say the Lions have been searching for their guy. Matthew Stafford was the number 1 overall pick, and they traded him away for another overall number 1 pick that went as far as, I guess, the Rams allowed him to go. He comes here now in Jared Goff, and last year they take a flyer on a kid named Hendon Hooker in the third round.
Been a number 1 pick.
He could have been a first-round pick. Maybe not the number 1, but he could have been a first-round pick. We don't know what he's all about yet. And we don't know what they're going to do still with Jared Goff. He's the guy this year, but when do you get to unwrap Hendon Hooker and see what he's got?
Well, there's another element there, absolutely, as well. Steve Wild's in the chat, and I really appreciate the chat, but I think for the most part, people don't listen to what we say.
They hear what they want.
Like I really do. And just, the painted nails thing. Are you going to cry, Ermanni, when a man with painted nails beats your beloved golden boy? And again, the painted nails thing, the dress thing, the pink phone thing, I have no problem with it. I don't care, actually, what people do in their own lives.
I don't think he's saying that, though. I think he's more so like just because you're so on J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I really believe it. This is, I believe J.J. McCarthy is going to be the best quarterback in this draft, more so than I believed anything that I've ever said on this show. And I've been right a lot.
I agree.
So, you could be upset if Caleb Williams outshines him. Big deal. You're a fan.
Right.
We're all fans.
And again, the painted Williams thing, look, I don't know how better to tell you guys. Nobody here cares. Nobody's saying he can't do what he wants to do. None of us. I didn't. Braylon didn't. Maz didn't. Nobody did. What we are saying is how that translates into an NFL locker room, because you may like it or hate it. You may loathe it. But an NFL locker room is different from society. It's a different place. And don't take it from me. You take it from this guy who's been in those locker rooms. It just is a different place. And when you are following somebody, when the quarterback is the number 1 most important person, most important player in your organization, that player has to grab you and make you want to run through a wall for him. So, yes, it is a little bit of a different vibe in there. Now,
here we go. Let's have some fun with this. Yeah. Let's switch this around and have some fun with it. JJ goes to the Vikings. Caleb's obviously going one to the Chicago Bears. Who's ready to win that game right now? Like, just looking at what they have on their team, looking at the roster. Looking at both rosters.
JJ goes where?
Very talented. JJ's Minnesota.
Oh, JJ.
And then Caleb's going to Chicago.
Yeah.
Who wins now?
JJ all day, because JJ's going to a better coach, too.
Chicago might have the better A to Z roster right now, but the Vikings have Justin Jefferson and
Josh Jacobs and Jordan Addison.
No, they got
TJ Hockenson.
Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones in the backfield. And they got T.J. Hockenson, maybe at midseason.
And they just got a left tackle, one of the best in the game.
Yeah, the Vikings are not slouches.
Minnesota's sneaky.
They're not slouches.
Minnesota's pulling some sneaky moves. And I'm telling you, when I was in New York as a Jet, 2010, Kevin O'Connell was on that roster. All he ever talked about was coaching. All he ever talked about was wanting to be a coach. Here he is now, a coach. People vet for this guy. They say he knows what he's doing, man.
The Josh McCowns of the world, or Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, good call.
Those guys weren't the best quarterbacks, but they're smart as hell. It's like the catcher is always the best manager in baseball.
It's like the quarterback from the Falcons, DeBerg.
Yeah, Steve
Remember
DeBerg.
He had the best football camp. That's where everybody went to, but he wasn't the best quarterback. But he knew it's just like golf coaches. Golf coaches, they coach you. Golf coaches, like some coaches, they can coach better than they can.
Who the hell's coaching Tiger Woods? You know what I mean? Tiger Woods he's got the talent.
His dad,
but he still has a coach.
His dad.
I don't know whether it's going to be Jaden Daniels or Drake May, But if a quarterback goes to New England, they will not be successful.
Horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
I really hope.
Maybe give the Patriots more of a. They're getting a fresh start.
Here's what's going to happen.
But they got the same.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Okay, this is very easy.
If you have an old Lincoln and you slap a new coat of paint, it's still an old Lincoln.
They have no talent on the offensive side of the ball.
No,
none.
You saw Devontae Parker jersey going for $0.
Not on the offensive line. Not in the running back position. Not at wide receiver. Not at tight end. They have no talent offensively. You stick a quarterback there that's just going to get killed. He's going to look awful. He's going to lose all his confidence.
He's David Carr.
They're going to lose 15 games, maybe 14 games, 14, 15 games. Then in 2 years or a year and a half, the coach is going to get fired because Bill Kraft is not going to put up with all that losing. They'll be 3-14 this. Bill Kraft.
No, it's fun. It just sounded weird.
Right.
I was
know. Bob Kraft, Bill
right?
Belichick. Bob Kraft is not going to like going 3-14. Then Bob Kraft is not going to like opening the year 2-6 or 2-8. So they're going to fire Gerard Mayo. Then they're going to get another coach with another coordinator. So this young man's going to have 2 coordinators, 2 head coaches in 2 years or 3 years.
All right, you sold me.
And Gerard Mayo has 2 years, by the way.
Max.
Yeah, like Robert Kraft, who he is now, is very different than when he was. Every little situation, it chips at your kindness. It chips at your patience. And I believe now that he's finally got Bill's butt out the door, he's got 2 years. Like Robert Kraft's still very much involved. No more than 2 years.
Especially with Mike Vrabel out there too. You know what I mean? Like a guy that's been fairly successful at the NFL level, I'd say. You know, number 1 seed a couple of times. Either way, but and I think Gerard Mayo was almost put in an unwinnable situation, kind of like what we thought. Really, who is the Houston coach that lasted?
D'Amico Ryans.
No.
Oh no. One before
1 year he lasted.
1 year he lasted.
But he knew that going in. I forgot who they hired.
It was 2 years in a row. They did that, and then they did Levy Smith, and then they hired D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
But
Can't think of his name.
I feel like that's the same kind of situation. Yeah, the guy earned it. Yeah, he's been in your organization. Yeah, you've been grooming him. But now it's up to you to produce results. And there's just your roster is not in a position to produce results yet. So who's the fall guy going to be? It's going to be Gerard Mayo. So that's why I say whoever the quarterback that goes there, and whether it's Jay Daniels, Drake May, that is the one spot you do not want to end up. Your career is on the line. You talk about Deion Sanders and all of these people forcing their way. If I'm one of these kids' parents, do not pick me, New England. I do not want to go to you.
And you know what? Let's ask the other side of that question, Ryan. If you're a franchise, boom.
David Culley was the guy.
David Culley.
Yeah. Here you go. You're the franchise. Now you're Robert Kraft. You represent Robert Kraft and Gerard Mayo. If I'm insert father or insert player as well, and we tell you flat out this season, I'm Jaden Daniels. I'm Drake May. I'm J.J. McCarthy. I'm insert Bo Nix. We're not coming there if you draft it. And you don't have to say it publicly. It'll get public.
Right.
But if we just tell you guys, on the phone or via email, hey, look, we appreciate it, but we won't come there if you draft us. We won't want to be there. What do you do as an owner? That's a real question.
I would never want to draft somebody that doesn't want to be in my organization.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. I would think I could change their mind because owners like that have an ego unlike anything you've ever seen before, because that's how they've gotten that successful. Is you're not that successful without having an ego the size of Texas. True. You know what I mean? Right. So you think you can change that player's mind, but I would not want anybody to be with me or represent my organization that does not want to be with me.
What about you, man? Are you like F it and draft them anyway?
Well, yeah, I am, to be perfectly honest.
I knew it.
Yeah, I am.
I knew
if I want a guy, I'm going to draft him. And you know what? He's going to play for me because I'm paying him number one money.
Right.
And he's gonna be fine.
You're an old school fan of sports. It shows.
I still got mad at John Elway after all those years. I did. And of course Eli Manning went to the Giants. Of course I wasn't mad at him, right? I'm a Giants fan. But still, yeah, it sticks in my craw when a kid tells you, I'm not coming. don't take me. I'm bigger than you. I don't like it.
But what if it's
That's
not-
why I don't like NIL with these kids telling you better pay me or I'm going to go in a transfer portal.
Well, what if it's not necessarily about being bigger than you, but just I know what your organization represents? Like you're a lousy owner, you're not hands-on, you don't do a good job.
Depends who I own.
You said what?
What team am I owning? Am I owning the Chargers? Then,
Well,
of course, I understand.
Well, the Baltimore Colts at that time had gotten horrible when John Elway got on the draft board.
Yeah, they were on the downslide.
If it was Arizona Cardinals,
yeah,
the Bidwells.
Yeah, they made 2 Super Bowls at least.
This is true accidentally.
Yeah.
I feel like all their Super Bowl on accident.
Guys, we are going to take a break. Top of hour number 2 coming up. Coming up next, we'll go around the NFL. Plenty of signings to go around and news to tell you about. So Tom Maswell will walk us through that next. But first, a message from our shop at woodwardsports.com.
That's right. If you are tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch, we have some new wearables here at the woodwardsports.com. Click on shop. The hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Check out that Red Wings hoodie right there, LFGRW. You know what that stands for. That's a sweet-looking hoodie. You may want to purchase that one, and you can at woodwardsports.com and click on shop. Hey, Maz, you like pets?
You know it, man. Jeter, he loves shopping at Premier Pet Supply. You know it. PremierPetSupply.com. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations and 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. They have nutritionists on call as well. You know it. They're your place. PremierPetSupply.com.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of our Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. I just got my cut today. A little hot lather neck shave, a little scalp massage. I want to thank Becca here at the 15 in Woodward location. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome it is. You know what else is wicked awesome? It's Soroki's. What's better than eating crispy chicken, pizza, and watching your favorite team play? The answer is nothing. Simply put, Soroki's does it the best. A perfect takeout option featuring hand-breaded chicken, New York-style pizza, fresh salad, and an array of sides. Check out their full menu and find the closest Soroki's near you at Sorokis.com. That's SAROKIS.com.
All right, guys, top of hour number 2. You guys having any fun today?
I am.
I will say, I want to thank the NFL for just the way they have moved their calendar. It's just everything about the NFL is top of mind. Everything about the NFL continues to flow to keep the NFL in the news each and every day. I don't enjoy talking about anything as much as talking about the NFL. It is tremendous, tremendous stuff.
I have kept this on the rundown every day of the year, and it's called Around the NFL for a reason. They give us something to talk about 12 months a year.
I got something to talk about. I just hit this parlay, man. I'm excited.
Oh man,
I'm extremely.
Like, he doesn't even look until. Let me just look now. He says.
Okay, so hold on. I got to give the.
By the way, I won a few bucks.
I got to give the audience a little precursor. Look, when I make a little parlay, $25, win a lot, or 30 or 10 or whatever, it's crazy stuff. But I like the big parlays in terms of same game. I like to bet this player have this player have that, this player have that. But I never like looking to see if I won until I need to go into it's the weirdest thing. So I need to go into
it's like your superstition.
Exactly. I'm like, I won't go check. I won't watch the games. I didn't even check the score of the game today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, $25 last night got me some money. $1,200. I had Giannis to get 25, Lillard to get 20, Middleton to get 12, Giannis to get 12 rebounds. AD had a big game, 25, Russell 15, Reeves 12, Malik Beasley 15, AD 12 rebounds, and I got it all.
There were 3 players last night that had triple doubles.
I cheated.
In the double overtime game for the Milwaukee Bucks and the LA Lakers, which I flipped that game on last night, actually. The Bucks were up 19 with 6 minutes to go in the game and lost.
You kept it on?
Well, it was like there's nothing to watch
after the wings.
After the wings, yeah. Flipped over the wing.
Oh, by the way, they cost me. I bet another parlay. Yeah. The Rangers, Lakers, Warriors, Thunder, Mavericks, and Red Wings.
Right.
I won all of them except the Wings. Oh my
God!
If they would have won in overtime, you win.
Yeah, you
1,700.
win. Yeah, I'm watching the Wings. Kane scores the goal.
Yeah.
Then they go to overtime, and that was a huge point. We'll talk about that later on. But then I flipped to the NBA because I can't watch all the political stuff, the news stuff. No. I have no shows to watch.
I was watching the Wonder Years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wish I could do that. I can't do that.
I don't know why.
So I flip over to this NBA game, and I cannot believe it. Like, the Lakers just keep getting closer, and you're like, what's going on here? Lakers come back from 19 down with 6 minutes to go to tie it, and then overtime happens, and they go to double overtime, and it was over. It was unbelievable. These
Bucks
teams
beat them?
No, Lakers won.
Oh, jeez.
The problem
they were so tired. That's what was fun
about
it.
Was it in LA or Milwaukee?
It was in Milwaukee.
Wow.
Without LeBron James.
Holy crow.
Yeah, and it was so fun to watch how tired they were. Like, every shot was short. Every single shot.
The funny thing about it, though, is like that's what happened to the Lakers last year. Remember how hard they had to fight from March to end of April to just make the playoffs, make the play-in, and then by the time they got to the Western Conference, they were exhausted. Same thing is going to happen this year. They're 10th in it. They're fighting to get in the play-in. They're going to exhaust all the energy. AD is going to run out of knee power, and then once the playoffs come around, they're going to get waxed. You're too old. Like, these teams are young. Like, LeBron's 40. AD is 33. Like, they got a team of guys that are up. Malik Beasley is up there in age. These guys are 24, 25.
What was last night for LeBron? Was that a sitting out game? That's what I meant. It must have been load management.
Speaking of load management, last night the Warriors played the Heat. Don't you know the Heat did not? And this is in Miami. This is Steph Curry came down there. Klay Thompson back in the starting rotation. He had 28. They didn't play Tyler Hero. They didn't play two other starters. What are you doing? Like, people
Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler didn't play.
Did they lose?
Warriors won.
Is Kevin Love still on that team?
No, he's not. He hung him up.
Pat Riley still coaching them?
You said Pat Riley? Yeah, he is.
Eric Spoel,
officially.
the Spoel man.
That's so funny.
Pat Riley's a part owner of the Heat.
Pat Riley is calling plays from above.
That Eric Spoelstra is something else, isn't he?
He is. He's a Riley protege.
Oh, God. Such a handsome man.
He is. Not as handsome as Patty Riley, though.
All right, let's go around the NFL, shall we, man? How about a little music here, Mike? Let's put a little music bet under there, make it a little bit more interesting.
Hey, one of my favorite receivers is Deontay Johnson. Not. Anyway, his parting words for the Pittsburgh fans. Let's put that up because he got...
Put it up, Maz.
He got traded to hell. He had to go to Charlotte. He is now with the Carolina Panthers. And Deontay Johnson. What was this, Pete?
Bad link, Baz.
Bad link. Anyway, he basically
link.
told them Pittsburgh fans to get a life.
Really?
Yeah, get a life.
He said get a life. I mean,
Yeah.
we're living in an era of player that, okay, granted, we're baby because we're in Detroit. Detroit
Right.
has a bunch of the right guys. Well, exception of one, but we had a bunch of the right guys to say the right thing and do the right thing. This era, man, like these kids, it starts with the NIL. It starts with the way people treat. Like basketball has been like this for a very long time. Treat like babies, can say and get away with anything. Now football players, I love it. It's starting to be in the same regard. But now when you got Deontay Washington going against people on Twitter or people attacking him, he's attacking people back. People now say what they want, say what they feel. I feel like KD started that. Like Kevin Durant going after fans. Just because somebody say something about, like, sure, I'm going to say something back. And I think he got a lot of flack. He got a lot of people going after him in Pittsburgh. And he's like, you know what? Y'all get lives.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right. It's completely going to mess you up. But I understand it, if that makes sense.
All right.
No, I hope he has fun in Carolina. I'll do my
Yeah,
best.
so-
Odell Beckham looks like he's going to, well, he has to sign a contract, but the Dolphins have offered him a deal.
When did he start dating Kim Kardashian? Have I been on planet Mars? I had no idea he was dating Kim Kardashian.
I just heard it like he was dating months ago. I didn't realize they stayed together for 6 months until I read something the other
She
day.
wants to have his baby?
Yeah. Well, she's got frozen eggs, and she wants Odell's abilities to mesh with those eggs.
That's one way to put it.
The best ability is availability, man.
He's definitely available because he ain't on no team.
So they broke up now.
It was just the.
They broke up. He broke up with her. He's like, after she said that, he broke up
He's
with her.
smart.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He's smart. He's a brand too. I don't know.
Dang.
I would see what one of his checks was talking about though.
Right?
Like, hey Kim, how much you trying to pay? Because Kim has a lot of money,
Oh, man, I'd run as fast as I could.
but she just wants the baby. She just wants the baby.
Yeah.
I got some more news. Zach Wilson. We were talking about poor Zach Wilson.
Have to be.
He's still a Jet.
That's
Zach
terrible,
Wilson. The
man.
Jets cannot get any deals made for Zach Wilson.
He's a terrible player, Maz. He's a terrible player.
So
He can't even be a backup in the league.
I was listening to some New York media. I was looking at some clips. Don't you know that they've already the Jets? Look, I love my organization. I love the Jets. I had some great times there. They should show me a lot of love. I can't wait to the draft. I can't wait to make the pick. But the Jets, they still just do so many things wrong. Don't you know they've already gone on record saying he may see some games next year? There's a possibility.
They're so
How do you
so
fix your
dumb.
mouth to say that out loud
They're
in a
dumb.
real interview?
They're dumb.
In a real interview, you say, you know what? As it cut right now, he's still on the roster. He may have to see some games. They fire everybody.
Joe Douglas is the GM. He said, if I can't trade him, we're going to keep him. That's what he said.
Like, this is torture.
If we can't trade him,
they've
we're going to
tortured.
keep him.
They've tortured this kid.
He's still collecting money, though.
How many starting quarterbacks in this league do you think couldn't even be on the roster? Like, nobody would want them.
Zach Wilson.
Any, like, of the quarterbacks that started a game, like, not even starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Of quarterbacks that started a game last year in the NFL, how many of those guys wouldn't be sought after by any team in the NFL?
Maybe 3. Maybe.
I don't even know who. I mean,
Well,
Josh
maybe-
Dobbs got a job.
Bailey Zappi?
Bailey Zappi's still
He's
employed.
somewhere.
He's still employed?
Yeah.
You got me, man.
You know?
Poor Zach. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers was healthy last year, this kid would have had a whole year to learn under the Grandmaster. That's what the Jets brought in Aaron Rodgers. One of the reasons was to try to save Zach Wilson. You remember that when they brought him in?
100%. It
And
was
Aaron
basically
Rodgers
have him
was
as a
gonna-
mentor.
He was going to be his big brother
Yeah.
and walk him through this. And during Jets training camp, when Aaron was healthy, he was saying, man, Zach's really coming along. He's doing this, he's doing that. And then 2 plays in, 3 plays in, they got to throw the kid back out to the wolves with no offensive line.
And not to mention, still with the same thing in his mental. Remember, the fans cheered that he was gone.
Yeah.
The team wore Mike White
Yeah.
shirt. Like, all that's going on, and now you got to go back out there and try to be a quarterback. I mean, you got to give him his credit. He tried to be as professional as he could as a young man, but it just was tough.
Ray H has a good one, but not quite the question I asked. Ray H in the chat says Trey Lance. Trey Lance did not start a game last year.
Yeah, he did.
Trey Lance started a game last year?
No, he's a backup.
I'm
with the
tripping. No,
Cowboys.
I'm thinking the year before, excuse me.
I'm sure there's a lot of backups in the
No,
NFL
I'm
that
sorry.
are not wanted. I mean, nobody wants David Blau or Tim Boyle or anything like
David
that.
Blau's a coach now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
For who?
I forgot who took him, but he's a coach.
That's right. I did remember
He's
that.
a coach.
Maybe I don't remember where, but either way.
Now, a great quarterback, and we all could agree on this, was Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Well, last year he stepped away from the game, got in the broadcast booth with CBS, did a good job, but made it official now that he is going to hang up his cleats. He had hope maybe a team might pick him up.
Like Cleveland.
Yep. Or,
Cleveland.
Whatever.
Well, they picked up Joe Flacco instead, right?
That's what I was about to say. You got
Flacco was ready, and Matt Ryan was not ready, I guess.
You got to respect what the Steelers are doing, considering they're paying Justin Fields and Russell Wilson $5 million. That's what the Ravens are paying Joe Flacco.
Right.
So put those stats up again, Pete. Ryan, read through these and tell me if Matt Ryan's going to the Hall of Fame.
NFL MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, Offensive Player of the Year 1 year, Rookie of the Year, passing leader in 2016, 5,500 passing completions on 8,400 attempts, 380 touchdowns, 62,000 yards, NFL passer rating leader in 2016. So 2016 was a hell of a year.
And a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
To all that I say, when did we just start letting quarterbacks into the Hall that didn't win the Super Bowl?
Oh, there's a lot. Dan Marino comes to mind.
Dan Marino's damn near the best quarterback of all time, and that's disputed by anyone. Like he's a real one. Dan
Fouts never won one.
Dan Fouts helped usher in an era.
Warren Moon did not.
Warren Moon had 4,000. I mean,
Well, he's just saying he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but his
numbers are great.
His numbers are amazing.
His numbers are Matthew Stafford numbers minus a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They are. They've always been compared to each other.
Man,
I'm not saying he belongs there, but I think you got to give him a nod at least.
This is a conversation Ari Mayroff had when we came on, right before we were talking to him this 2 times ago. I mean, he has the numbers, but Ryan Ermanni, as you always say, are the numbers everything?
Well, and the numbers will evolve as well because of the passing. The game has evolved to a passing league, so the numbers are going to evolve. I'm trying to find like some sort of statistic metric for yards.
Okay. You know what?
Here we go. I got it.
It's like
how many touchdowns did he throw?
Right.
60.
How many touchdowns did Matt Ryan throw?
I forgot.
I got to get him printed out, Maz. Got to get him printed out.
381.
381.
He has.
Oh, God. Well, that's more touchdown passes than John Elway, Warren Moon, Fran Tarkenton, Dan Fouts, Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas, Jim Kelly, Steve Young.
There's everybody in there.
Troy Aikman.
And Brett Favre.
More touchdown passes than Kurt Warner.
Fran Tarkenton is another guy that didn't win a Super Bowl.
Minnesota.
0-4.
And the Giants.
In
but he went
fact,
to 4.
only
Jim Kelly didn't win, but he went to 4 Super Bowls. It's like you almost give him credit for winning one. He went to so many.
Only 3 Hall of Famers have thrown more touchdown passes than Matt Ryan.
The era has changed. Yeah.
Well, that's
to what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm just saying he's a worthy guy. He is a worthy guy. He'll get a look.
I feel you, but I'm just saying if you start doing this for all the quarterbacks, then do this for every position. Then just stack the Hall completely.
How many?
Like the Hall of Fame is
did he
supposed
throw?
to be reserved for the best, the creme de la creme of the elite. When you look at defensive players, offensive players that aren't quarterback, then it's guys that like change the game. You look at your favorite, Lawrence Taylor, changed the game.
Joe Namath is a guy that he don't have the
extent.
numbers to be in there, but he changed the game.
Joe Cool. So I look at it like that. Like when you're looking at the bus in the NFL, it's like, this guy did this, or this guy did this guy did that. You get the Matt Ryan's bus, it's like, all right, yeah, you good career. Like that's a Hall of Fame was supposed to be special, man.
Yeah, I mean, you forget because of the offensive explosion that this these guys had.
Numbers.
I mean, you're talking about what's he have? 63,000 yards. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah.
How many yards did he have?
63,000.
63,000.
62, 63.
There are only 2 current Hall of Famers that have more yards than Matt Ryan. Only 2. That is Peyton Manning and Brett Favre. It's more than Dan Marino, more than John Elway, more than
right.
Wow.
But if you
those numbers are pretty impressive. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that because I do not think of Matt Ryan as a Hall of Famer. Personally, in my head, I do not think of him as this Hall of Fame quarterback. But when you look at the numbers, they sure as all get out stack up with this. Now, where's Drew Brees? Guys that are in the Hall of Fame. Not in the Hall of Fame right now, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and so forth. So those numbers will.
Aaron Rodgers.
So those three
Matt
right
Stafford.
there. Well, again,
he got a Super Bowl. He'll be in there.
Matt Stafford.
He's got a Super Bowl.
I just want to see what his career numbers are.
He'll be close to. He'll be close to Matty Ice.
He's 1 year after Matty Ice.
56,000 yards. So
7,000 less.
If he throws 4,000 this year, that's 60,000, and then another 4,000 next year, 64. He's right there.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
The Super Bowl speaks different volumes.
I get it.
Now I get the.
He almost won, man.
True, but at the same, you said what?
He almost won.
But almost doesn't count.
28-3.
Almost doesn't count because when I look at
that ain't his fault.
It doesn't matter, but you didn't win. When I look at Matt Stafford's bust, I instantly he hit Cooper Kupp twice in the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl. That's a game changer. That wins your Super Bowl. So,
really interesting conversation to have, though. All right, guys, let me take a break. When we come back, Jim Harbaugh may be indicating which way he'll go for the LA Chargers in the NFL draft. But first, a message from Swiss.
That's right. I do have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you. Also, what happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys, and especially myself, one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. It is a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and by people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party, it's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Stanford, more Maz. That's I mean, Mike G put that in the chat. I get a chuckle out of that every single time.
Me too.
Les Stanford, more Maz.
I'm sorry, Les. We still love you, though.
Okay, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. That's right. All 4 GM brands now under one umbrella as Les Stanford adds a Buick GMC brands. Check out that store in Ferndale on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile, just down the block from us, in fact. Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. And again, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
Let's drive, baby.
And the best way to do it is drive down to Shake Shack, where you can sign up for the QB Challenge, win 2 tickets to the Detroit home opener this coming season. That's right, the Kings in North 12-5, Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell. You got a chance to win 2 tickets. If you don't want to go down to Shake Shack, which you should, because the new Chicken Shack from Shake Shack is amazing, just scan the QR code. It's right there above my head. Scan it, get registered, or woodwardsports.com. Another way to do it. QB Challenge.
All right,
I wish
guys.
we could be in some of these challenges,
man. Be in the challenge. Be in the challenge.
We can't win, though.
Maz, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Because I did not see this.
Yeah, I'll take care of you.
Where's Harb's been living?
You won't believe it. Let's put the tweet up, and you'll see where he's living.
Former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh has been living in an RV since moving to Los Angeles. That is does he just park it at SoFi Stadium?
I don't know where he's parked, but he is there, and he said, I'm having a time of my life. I always wanted to do this. Remember, him and his brother were talking about it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure his wife and kids are kind of...
Well, they're doing the garage sale.
They're doing the garage sale.
They're doing the garage sale.
Moving and in the process of finding a place and all that stuff.
Also, too,
that cannot be the RV.
No, the Breaking Bad RV.
That's Walter White's RV.
Yeah, that's Walter White's RV.
I like it, Pete.
Also, too, Jim Harbaugh is making good money since 2011 at Stanford. Whether it's 2008 at Stanford, San Fran, Michigan, he's making $7.7 million a year. Let's not act like his RV is not a Ritz-Carlton on wheels. Like, it's probably $1.2 million. He's all right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, like...
I still don't want to live in one, though.
Like,
what's him, though? It's Jim Harbaugh.
I feel like...
have you ever been in one of those, man?
Yeah, not like
1.2 million?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh feels like he's just obsessed with football. Like, if he could just watch tape, evaluate players, coach football, like, it feels like he would just do that.
It makes me so sad that he's not with us anymore.
Me too.
We really had no idea how good we had it. We really had it good.
I know, especially
Who's got it better than us? Nobody had it better than us.
For the last 3 years, that's
Nobody.
for sure. We'll see what happens, but nonetheless.
He is something, man.
Yeah. So here's his take, because a lot of people believe the 4 quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And even if they don't, you figure Marvin Harrison
Most will
is
go
going.
in the first half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is Jim Harbaugh sitting there at 5 going to do? How does he see his team being built? Here's what he had to say.
The offensive line to me is important. I mean, if I ask you the question of, like, what position group depends on no other position group to be good, but every other position group depends on them to be good, what position group is that? Offensive line. They're not relying on any other position group to be good. They go out and they're good. But yet every other position group relies on the offensive line to be good. And then the D-line, they'll be the ones that argue back. We don't need the offensive line to be good. Do you? Do you like it? Do you like when the offense has a 12-play drive and the field position? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You're right. It's like that building that kind of offensive line. That's exciting. Can't wait to do that. April 2nd. Let's get it started. Let's go.
Jim, so do you feel
ready to roll?
What you guys?
Yeah, and people can say that Jim Harbaugh is disconnected to how to win in the NFL now, or he's disconnected. Oh, he's going to get these defensive linemen. He's going to get offensive linemen. What about the skill position? Jim Harbaugh has won doing it this way. This is how you do it. You look at when he got to San Fran. I was on that team in 2011. You know who he brought over? He brought over Jonathan Goodwin, who was a Pro Bowl center from the New Orleans Saints. He brought Joe Staley in out of Central Michigan, a first-round pick. That offensive line got good. It blocked for Frank Gore. It protected Alex Smith. It allowed him to get the ball out to Vernon Davis, who had an exceptional year. We were in the NFC Championship that first year. He did the same thing at Michigan, Maz. Eventually built up that offensive line to where they're the best offensive line year after year after year in the Big Ten. Built up that defensive line where you get Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, and you got Chris Jenkins this year. They start dominating Ohio State. That's football 101. It doesn't matter what era it is in. You get the offensive line to protect the quarterback. Now you ensure your offense. Then you get the defensive line to go after. I remember that's what he did, and it's worked every step he's been.
Look what the Lions have done. It's the perfect recipe, right?
That's exactly right,
It bored the hell out of me.
Well,
it did.
That's
it bored
what
the
I was
hell
gonna
out of
say.
me. And here they are.
Well, Matt, you hit the nail on the head too, and I think we're all kind of in lockstep here. For a fan, when you look forward to the draft and you see all these
toys,
shiny pieces, you get so enamored with the shiny piece, you don't care about the guts and the bones of the house. You just see the front door. You see the landscaping. You don't see the foundation. The foundation is buried. But without that foundation, that house is going to collapse. Forgive the analogy. But for a fan base, it is the least appealing, least sexy thing your football team can do is to select an offensive lineman in the first round. We know. We have experience.
Many of them.
Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, especially.
Go back to the old days.
Especially a top 10, but especially with a top 10 pick.
Jeff Sackis.
Especially, Jeff Backus was good for this team for many, many years. But, I mean, just more recently, Penei Sewell, right? I mean, a top 10 offensive line pick was not a very sexy, fun night. But now you couldn't imagine. You are who you are because of those selections above anything else that you've done. So it is with great certainty that I believe that the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers, I keep calling them San Diego, I apologize.
They're San Diego.
Are going to select the number one offensive lineman on the board, and that is Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. And he will be their left tackle for the next 12 years. And that'll be a foundational piece for that organization for many, many years.
They already have Rashawn Slater.
Oh, as a right tackle.
Then he's a right tackle, whatever. Tackle.
No, I'm just saying they have two pillars.
Yeah, Joe ought to be left, and Rashawn be right.
Then you fill in the rest.
Yeah.
You do. And at the end of the day, you don't try to play the game. It's the same thing Brad Holmes said. So many parallels where, look, man, it's 31 other teams. They can do it their way. We're going to do it our way. Everybody's trying to tell Harbaugh, the move at 5 is to you bring the Minnesota Vikings up here. You get a haul for that pick, and then you do this, that, and the third. Harbaugh's going to do it his way. It seemed to work everywhere he's been at.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got some more goodies for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hard Knocks. A lot of people are tired of it.
Yeah.
But the in-season Hard Knocks, which I really haven't bought into. Last year, 2 years ago, I think it was Arizona. Last year was the Dolphins. You know what they're going to do going forward now for the in-season Hard Knocks? They're going to take the entire division. How about that? So if the Packers, if they pick the NFC North, you're going to see the Pack, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, and so on and so forth. That starts this season.
I like this, and the reason why is, look, nobody watches Hard Knocks anymore anyway. The only reason why we watched it 2 years ago is because Detroit was in it. The Detroit Lions. The only reason why people may watch it before the season is because there's still no season. So maybe you like the team that they choose. Maybe you like some players.
My wife enjoys it, so I watch it.
Okay. Okay.
Then we get tired of it after like 2 or 3.
Exactly.
times.
2 or 3 episodes, you're done with it. So that second Hard Knocks during the season, it doesn't stand a chance. I haven't watched 1 second of one episode since they started that. But if you do a division, and you do a division which I'm particularly interested in, like the NFC North, now I'm watching the race. Now I'm watching what's being said. Now I'm watching the other teams, or insert division that you represent or that you support. I like this. I still probably won't watch it, But if they get the NFC North in there, you can count on me watching.
Or the AFC East. You get to see your Jets.
Absolutely. And a lot of problems with, Hard Knocks. We enjoyed it because there are Lions, but, they don't show you anything anymore.
No.
You don't see the draft board. You don't see the free agency board. You don't see how they structure their players. You don't see the guys coming in getting cut. You don't see them going home.
You don't see the Turk going up, knocking on their hotel room door.
Yeah. It's so I actually am really looking forward to wide receiver. Not just because Amon-Ra is on there, but I really enjoyed quarterback. That is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy seeing. I thought they had a really good mix of football and home life. And I think that's what is appealing to the viewer when you get that mix of everything. Because if you're not going to see the inner workings of the organization, if you're going to cut away when the coaches are sitting at a table and they're talking about players and who's going to get cut and who's going to make the team, you're cutting away from those deep conversations, then it's just, I don't want to say it's meaningless, but it just doesn't have that appeal where I've got to watch this.
My wife, again, I'll bring that up. My kids loved quarterback. They loved seeing Kirk Cousins, Mr. Coles.
Taking off on Tuesday, by the way.
They loved it. Pardon?
Kirk Cousins takes off every Tuesday.
Isn't that something?
I'm taking off on Tuesday.
Yeah, he's going to be with
other quarterback.
He's going to be with his family. He's going to walk with his wife.
I love it.
I love Kirk Cousins.
Tuesday is off day.
Yeah.
But he don't do anything with the and if he does a team event, his wife's with him.
Yeah.
That's what people especially
when you said it caught me off guard. I was like, wait, Tuesday's off day.
The female sports lover, that's for them.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a character off The Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks like a character off The Bachelor. He does it the right way. Like, he can actually play. He's funny. He put on the chain and he hung out. He did all that. So, like, he's an interesting character. I guarantee you wouldn't have pegged him for that. But when you follow him, he becomes that.
And you saw his man cave. It's literally like my man cave. Poor man's man cave. You know what I mean? I do the best I can.
Right.
But, if you go to, let's just say, if you go to Braylon's house, you're going to see it all laid out really nice. That's all I got to say.
They hung out down
That's
there.
all I got to say, and
the jerseys, Jerry Rice,
Chris Carter, myself, and the
Warren Moon. Do you have a Warren Moon?
I have Bo Jackson.
Bo
Jackson. Mike Vick. And
like the Wall of Fame.
Oh, the 45.
The Hallway of Fame.
The MJ
the Michael
45.
Jordan, that's what I knew there was an obscure. And by the way, 29 years ago today, I'm back. Michael Jordan returned to the NBA.
And he wore
45.
When he played against
How about
Reggie
that? It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Over there.
It
Why
was
did he wear
meant to
45?
be. Because that was the last
Baseball
number
jersey.
his dad saw him in playing baseball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How about that? Guys, last break of the show. We'll come back, talk a little Red Wings, talk a little March Madness. Ice Cube. Ice Cube.
Got to be next.
We'll doing that next. Why is Ice Cube so important? We'll have that for you.
Because he's showing somebody the money.
All right, guys. Make sure you get out the big boy. You know the scoop. Seafood Fest is back. Catch it while you can. Dive into the fish and chips, the new Parmesan-crusted cod, and a big boy must, the new mango iced tea. It goes really well with the popcorn shrimp and the shrimp Alfredo. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy, especially Fridays. Get out there for the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. And, of course, you could bring, you can go to Grand Slam Fest. I was going to do Jack Labrador for you. But you can go to Grand Slam Fest, and guess what, guys? Buckle up. Here it comes right now. Join Woodward Sports as we party live from downtown Detroit. The Tigers home opening next Friday, April the 5th. Broadcasting live, 8 a.m., right on at Grand Slam Fest, the biggest party in Detroit. Over 4,000 party people. Win your tickets now. All you got to do is go to the stream, like the stream, and comment Grand Slam Fest, in quotes, Grand Slam Fest. And we will select, I'll let Braylon pick it out today, one winner to come to Opening Day Fest, April 5th, at the Detroit Opera House parking lot right next door to Comerica Park, or you can buy your tickets right now at GrandSlamFest.com. Get going, chat.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcast Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss. With Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
What's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Labrador, the hottest game in Detroit. It is doing it, man, because rock, paper, scissors is old school. Jack Labrador is the new way to play it. 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play right here with the Champions deck. Get on it right now at jacklabrador.gg. Click on that QR code for the rules to play it. 2 or more players, ages 8 and above. 3 other games in here, the Motor City Showdown, Spell My Name, and Pink Slip. Get it all at jacklabrador.gg.
Who's doing this? Who did this?
I don't know.
Neil?
Probably. Yeah.
The chat's been asking for it. I just want to give with the chat what they want.
Oh, good for you, Pete.
Good for you, Pete.
Good for you, Jack.
Good for you, Pete. Where's those burgers? Oh, is that a lower third?
Yeah, it's a lower third.
Oh, man. I thought it looks like there's burgers in front of you.
Might as well be.
All right. Enough.
Come on, Pete.
Guys, I wanted to get to this story because I think it's very interesting. Ice Cube has offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to join the Big Three. Let me pull up the tweet for you that Ice Cube sent out. We don't have that tweet, do we?
Oh, I don't have the tweet. But
okay,
go ahead. You do it. I'll find it.
No, I've got it in the chat, guys. I've got it in the chat. My bad. I'm gonna stop putting stuff in that chat.
That'll be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. So here it is.
Nobody listens.
We intended the offer to remain private. So TMZ gets a hold of this. TMZ says Caitlin Clark gets blockbuster $5 million offer from Ice Cube's Big Three League. Ice Cube says, he comments on this. We intended the offer to remain private while Caitlin Clark plays for the championship, but I won't deny what's now already out there. Big Three made a historic offer to Caitlin Clark. Why wouldn't we? Caitlin is a generational athlete who can achieve tremendous success in the Big Three. The skeptics laughed when we made Nancy Lieberman the first female coach of a men's pro team, and she won a championship in her first year. Then Lisa Leslie won it all in year 2. With our offer, Caitlin Clark can make history and break down even more barriers for women women athletes. America's women athletes should not be forced to spend their offseason playing in often dismal and dubious foreign countries just to make ends meet. And they should have more than just one professional option in the U.S. at a time when American pro sports leagues are being infiltrated by autocratic anti-women regimes such as Qatar. Our path-breaking offer to Caitlin Clark demonstrates that the Big Three now offers another choice for athletes.
I love it.
Incredible.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Look, the NBA has been trying to shut down the Big Three since they first started. The NBA wants to have sole control over their players. Look, when you force these older players out, when they get in the year 12 and 13 and you force them out, you want all these rosters to be years 1 through 7. But where do these guys go? They go to the Big Three. They go make money. Now Ice Cube's invite women over to be head coaches. Now you integrate the league with the best basketball player in college basketball right now, and that is Caitlin Clark, man. I think it's a great deal. I think it will drive up revenue. I mean, you're essentially offering her $500,000 a game. $500,000 a game, $5 million. That's more than she'll make in her first 10 years with the WNBA.
The WNBA contract, I think everybody gets paid the same amount, $80,000.
Some people make a little bit more now, I think.
Or because it's not much more than that.
I know, what's her name? Brittany Stewart makes more. A couple other players make more. But to the extent, Ryan, I'm signing this deal, and you know how the deal got out.
Okay, so the average, excuse me, the average salary is $102,751.
Yeah, and I think the people that get paid the most make around like $175.
Sorry, wrong. I was looking at the wrong year. Average salary for a player in the 2023 season was $147,000.
Oh, that's nice.
So $147,000, $5 million.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
It is an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh,
Bray.
go ahead. And the only thing I was gonna say is, let's say it's like NFL, or let's say it's a different sport. You can't go play another sport. Now you can't go do another thing. See, in women's basketball, you can. They play overseas. That's what got what's her girl from Baylor that went to Phoenix Suns? Brittany
Griner.
That's what got Brittany Griner traveling to Russia, playing overseas in Russia. Obviously, other things too. But they play overseas. You mean to tell me I finish my season and I have an opportunity to play 10 games and make $5 million? Like, you know what it's going to do, though, if it happens this year? It's going to bring more women to the sport. It's going to be more people, and it's going to get interesting.
Erica Wheeler was the highest paid player in the WNBA last year. She made $242,000. Ice Cube, man, the NBA is trying to shut down Ice Cube.
Yep.
So that is why
I'll root for him.
He's doing this as well. The NBA, I can't believe it. And I interviewed Ice Cube for Fox 2 last year.
Yeah.
And he said that the NBA is trying to shut him down with sponsors. If you are a sponsor of the Big Three, you cannot be a sponsor in the NBA.
Wow.
Like stuff like that. So I would think the NBA would want to embrace Ice Cube and the Big Three and all these former players in the NBA that are still kind of playing and just make it
love
fun
the idea.
and all that. It's a great idea. And I'm wondering, there's what responsibility is it to Caitlin Clark to grow the WNBA? Will she gain ownership stake in the league? Will she get any sort of benefit from the NBA or from the WNBA? Is there a status that goes along with it? Because if you're telling me the highest paid player in the WNBA is $242,000, and yes, I can make endorsements and all that stuff, but that's not what we're talking about. Caitlin Clark could still do endorsements, and still make money, and get a $5 million salary to play 10 games.
And oh, by the way, most WNBA teams are owned by the NBA team,
right?
And so you're not getting any stake in the WNBA team because aren't any of these NBA owners coming off that leverage or coming off those stock points? Hell no.
Let me ask you this, Braylon, because I've never watched the Big Three. It is 3-on-3, right?
It is.
Yes.
Which sounds great to me. I wish I did watch it. Maybe I will.
With a 4-point shot and everything like that.
What's the chance of her doing anything good in that? Don't you think that they're not gonna? You think I want her scoring on me?
Well, one, these guys are former NBA players. These guys aren't gonna be out there trying to goon a fellow.
I'm not gooning, but
Goon a fellow basketball player.
Yeah.
She's a fellow basketball player. Basketball players, male and female, play with each other all the time in the offseason. They play against each other. They have good runs. Well, I didn't think you had to pause that one. I think in real hindsight, I think this could be fun. She's a shooter. She's going to be shooting from that 4-point spot. She knows how to play the game. Just because she wears a ponytail, she's got skills. And you're talking about a 3-on-3, it's like playground. Like
she plays with the smaller basketball.
Now that will be the interesting part about it. She's probably going to have to play with the big 3 ball, and maybe they
makes you different, man.
Well, maybe they make it a little smaller. Maybe they meet in the middle. Because, I mean, the Big 3 isn't sanctioned by the NBA. It's not sanctioned by the CBA. Right. But I think it's playground basketball. I remember playing, playground basketball. You have some girls out there that can hoop.
Of course.
And you play 3-on-3, you might get cooked.
Isn't there a part of this that you want to see?
Yeah, I do.
Like, when
it's just like Inescu at the 3-point contest this year against Steph. I wanted her to win.
Yeah, I did too. But even more so than that, like, you just Steph. You just want competition, right?
I love it.
You just want competition.
But I'd like to see her play eventually for the WNBA.
And she probably could.
I want her to be part of the Detroit Shock.
Well, the Big 3
they're not here anymore.
Man, the Big 3 happens after the WNBA season's over. So, like, she'll get a WNBA season. When that season's over, the Big 3 season goes from the end of the WNBA to, I think when football season starts.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe.
Because I think those seasons run simultaneous in the summer. Like I think those 2 seasons are simultaneous. We'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she could ultimately play in the NBA. And what is Caitlin Clark? Like, honestly, what is Caitlin Clark's responsibility to uplifting the WNBA? What benefit does she get from that?
Right. Not much.
All the owners are gonna get more wealthy.
Maybe they can make her the logo.
The people that own the arena will put butts in seats. The parking lots around the stadium will be filled probably because everybody's going to want to take their kid to go see Caitlin Clark. But does she have a responsibility to grow the women's game?
Right.
Does that get you paid? We talk about NIL and these college players and man, you only have so many earning years. Well, what about Caitlin Clark's earning years?
Yeah.
She doesn't have that same right?
She does.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
I would love to see this. Yeah,
I was looking. It looks like they do run simultaneous.
So more on that. I'm sure there's going to be more developments regarding that.
I just feel bad. And this is TMZ. But see, this is also the NBA, though. Like, this is also the NBA. This is also having the power. They got a hold of this. They're friends with TMZ. Hey, release this information, whatever. Because now if you're Caitlin Clark, now if you're Caitlin Clark's mother or father, whatever, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, this is maybe a terrible time to offer as she's in the final year, distracting her, et cetera, et cetera. It can be spent a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. Guys, Red Wings lose last night. We mentioned that. Pistons in action tonight. Minnesota?
Yeah, they get the T-Wolves.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
At Minnesota.
10 games left, including tonight.
What's the spread tonight? It was 16.5 against the Knicks. It is what?
15.5
against 15.5.
Oh, it is?
15.5 against the T-Wolves.
Why don't you put your how much did you win?
Nothing.
How much did you win?
I didn't win anything.
Whatever you won on your bet, why don't you just throw it down on the Pistons today?
Let it ride, baby.
Let it ride.
That's why you don't bet anymore, and that's why you shouldn't bet.
I don't bet.
Heck no.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Red Wings, man.
It's over.
Heartbreaker. No, it's not over.
It's over.
They're only 2 points back.
Oh, my
10
God.
games to go.
Washington's got a game in hand.
So
and you got 4 more on the road. You gotta win. You gotta win hockey games.
They've won
now.
3 of 11.
You gotta win hockey games.
They lost 1-0 to the Predators, and they lose in overtime last night.
I don't think it's done, but they better put a run together here. There's no doubt about that.
I got nothing.
One cancellation in baseball already, guys. The New York Mets have postponed their home opener tomorrow.
Just forego the whole season if you're the Mets. You're already starting off bad, man. Last year, as a New York guy,
they lost Edwin Diaz last year. They're a great closer. Timmy Trumpet.
They still had $380 million worth of people on the salary.
I know. They let Max go. They let Verlander go. It was a disaster. They do have JD Martinez though.
Oh,
he'll be hitting cleanup when he comes back.
Somebody tweeted to me that Dave Portnoy has offered Caitlin Clark $10 million to play on his intramural team.
Oh, for
now he's a
God's sake.
billionaire.
Is he a billionaire?
Or not a billionaire,
He's
but
on his way.
$500 million.
He's on his way.
Yeah.
Wow.
We call the winner of last night's Powerball lottery
Oh
a
my
billionaire.
God.
Or a mega one person.
Neptune, New Jersey.
Yeah, Neptune, New Jersey.
That's down by Atlanta, close to Atlanta.
We call
City.
him the newest billionaire, but he's, cash options $563 million.
First thing I did today is I texted my family. Did anyone get to Neptune to buy a ticket?
And the answer was no.
The answer was no.
Especially if you went to Neptune and buy a ticket.
Oh.
So technically, the bet I made wasn't a $25 bet because I also spent $40 in lottery tickets last night.
So you're 65 in the hole.
65
Take
got
it off
me.
the top.
Right, take it off the top.
Take it off the top.
Take it off the top.
Ready?
Get us out of here.
I'm about to withdraw.
We're out already?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You got something else?
No, not really.
What are you doing tonight, Maz? What are you watching tonight?
Well, tonight I got my second night of coaching the JV
how'd
girls.
that go?
JV softball at St. Joan of
How'd
Arc.
it go, Maz?
It went great. I met my team last night, and we had a ball. We played outside.
Can you recreate the introductory message to the girls?
Well, yeah, I gathered them all. I'm like, hey, guys. Well, most of them knew me because their parents knew me from back in the day when I used to coach at St. Joe, and my girls were there, and my lemon drop days before that with the machine pitch at Lac St. Clair. So half of them already knew Coach Tom is what a great guy we heard you
Coach
are,
Tommy?
Coach Tom. Coach Tom, they call me. Coach
Okay.
Tom, and I just got all the girls together. I asked them, first of all, what grades are you in? I got half of them a 5th grade, half of them a 6th grade. I'm like, how many of you guys play softball already? And out of 11 girls I had, 10 of them already played.
Okay.
And
makes
one
it
has
easy.
never played. And I'm like, all right, we're going to have a great time. What positions do you like to play? First, second, third, blah, blah, blah. And we played like simulated game. We had to play in the grass because the mud was too bad. So we went out into the grass outfield. And we did some not batting from them. I would hit the ball to them. Some fielding because I preach defense, of course. Got to preach defense.
Got to play defense.
And here's the problem. My buddy, Tim Kane, coaches.
Not the VP, former VP.
No, not that.
No.
My buddy, Tim Kane,
Okay.
also a great coach, coaches the St. Joan of Arc varsity girls.
Oh.
So what do you think he did last night? He pulled in and watched my practice
Of course he did.
to see who he is going to steal from me for the varsity. And I told him, you better back off, buddy. You better back off.
Oh, man.
Because I got at least 4 girls that could easily play on the varsity team.
Oh, my God.
I got a nice team, man, if I can keep it together.
I love
I'm
it.
looking forward to it. I got it again tonight. Weather's not too great, but I'm staying outside. I ain't going in the gym. I'm not going in the gym.
No, you can't go into the gym.
I'm not going in the gym.
Bray, get us out of here, buddy.
Hell of a show, man. Look, more to come. Maz, how far away are we now from the
Jay
draft?
Watts, he's
29 days
Ryan,
to the
we're trying
draft.
to get out of here. I'm like, damn, man, I've been up since 4:28 today. I'm
428. 428, man. Look, they got them working hard times over there, man. So look, we're going to make it easy for you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll bring you the same show tomorrow, maybe even just a little
Bye,
bit better.
Felicia.
My man Mike, my man
Go
Pete Stark
Tigers!
over here. Go Tigers. You see the hat. You see the hat. You see what we're doing. If there's nobody in that seat, it must mean it's time to go. Catch you guys tomorrow.